I'm Ada and I'm founder of SmartBrush, and I started here at Oneday a few months ago. Previously to Oneday, I was a consultant for large consultancy firms. I did a little bit of security consulting, emerging technology consulting, and also kind of a business side. So I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always found business really interesting, but I was always kind of caught in this race of finishing my A-levels, going to university, finishing a grad scheme, doing a master's, and I never had the time. And after a few years of kind of working in the industry, I realized actually I'm following someone else's dream instead of doing something that I've wanted. And so that's when I took the step to join Oneday, get an MBA, and progress and pursue being an entrepreneur. At the start, I was focused on wanting to help other businesses use AI, but what I ended up doing is kind of creating a new product using AI. So I've gone through a massive change and I've done many pivots throughout this journey. Dental health has always been something I've been passionate about because I've had dental problems and it's cost me a lot of money and I've had to get dental insurance. And so actually I thought, you know what, instead of going out and saving, all the businesses out there, let me focus on a real life problem that people face every single day and then use AI in order to solve that problem. So SmartBrush is the future of at-home dental care. And I created it because I always used to go to the dentist and I used to have regular checkups. But during COVID, you couldn't really do that. And there's massive and really long waiting times. So the idea of SmartBrush is it's your own personal dental assistant at home in kind of your bathroom, and it uses AI and computer vision in order to help you with preventative care and improve your oral hygiene, because you don't need to necessarily go to the dentist to know how is my oral hygiene right now. Being an entrepreneur is an interesting feeling because on one end, you're extremely excited for the possibilities of the future. You're really optimistic, you're really hopeful, and when you kind of reach a new milestone, it's incredibly exciting because you're like, yes, I did this. And you know what? 3 months ago, this would have been impossible. 3 months ago, it would have been a dream, but now I'm actually doing something. It's incredibly exciting, but it is also quite terrifying, especially when you're at the early stages and you don't have an established business. And so you're like, oh, is this going to become a business? When can I leave my job if I want to leave it? How do I balance it? You've got a lot of unknowns, a lot of unanswered questions, which is what makes it terrifying, but it's also what makes it really exciting. Oneday has been really fantastic because I've been able to do it alongside my work, and the flexibility has been, I guess, the most useful thing from Oneday is the fact that I can do it on weekends, I can do it in the evenings. And that's allowed me to balance kind of my day-to-day responsibilities with kind of building the future that I want for my life. And the best thing about Oneday is the community. The community is very active. Within our cohorts, within Oneday overall, we're always kind of very supportive, and starting a business with other people who are starting a business is fantastic because you learn with each other, you encourage each other. And whenever you get that little thought in your head that says you can't do this, well, then you've got 5 other people saying that you can. And that was so amazing because we all came together, we heard each other's businesses, we came up with solutions to each other's problems, and we really supported each other. And that was something that was quite foundational to kind of the success of everything that I've done at Oneday so far, because it really helped solidify my idea and get that early feedback from other people who want you to succeed. And so being in that environment where people want you to succeed and you want other people to succeed is so valuable, because you don't always get that from the people around you who are more skeptical. The help that you receive from the mentor is very important and incredibly useful, because sometimes there are questions that are very specific to your business and to kind of related to your life that you might not necessarily be able to share to a group. And so that one-to-one mentorship is what really kind of accelerates the growth of your business, because you can approach them with specific questions and really get direction. And so with my mentor, Jamie, he's really helped with that, because he's been able to kind of direct me when I've been a bit confused or unsure what strategy to use. So him just coming in and saying, hey, have you tried this? Have you thought about this? That's been really helpful to kind of craft my strategy on how I'm gonna start and launch my business. One thing in particular was when I initially started and I had an idea, but I didn't know how to kind of narrow down on my idea. I didn't know which direction to take it. He was really kind of essential in helping me understand, okay, what experiments do I need to do in order to find out which is the best idea? He helped combat my perfectionism, because as a consultant, before you do something, you need to make sure that report is perfect. And actually that's totally different when you're an entrepreneur and especially when you're doing a lean startup. Your product doesn't have to be perfect. You just need a product that you test, and then over time through that testing you make it perfect, and not necessarily perfect, just what the user really wants. And so Jamie's been really pivotal in being like, hey, you don't need to wait for that to be perfect, just launch it, get some feedback, and then you can iterate and make it better. And I think having someone who encourages you in kind of a different way of thinking is really important. When you've never done something before, it's always challenging, because the fact is you don't know how to do it. It's new. And even when something isn't new, it's not necessarily easy, because there's always new challenges. But when you come from an entirely different world, a corporate world where you're kind of told what to do, when you're getting that consistent coaching, when you have performance reviews, you're constantly getting feedback and you're constantly being spoon-fed things of like, this is how you do it. If you want to get a good grade, if you want to get good performance, you don't get that when you're starting your own business necessarily. And so that's been really challenging, because you've got this idea and you need to know how to test it, but you don't know how. There's no one telling you this is how you do it, these are the steps, X, Y, and Z. At least it wasn't like that before I started Oneday. When you actually start on Oneday, they take you through the different stages to identify, this is my skill set, this is how this is what I bring to the table, this is the value that I add, this is what other people need and the problems that they have. And then they take you through the steps of, okay, you have your idea, this is how you can validate it, this is how you can test it, this is how you can grow it and expand it. And I think having that support is a really good kind of bridge from living a corporate world, going to university, and to actually starting your own business and being a little bit alone. But when you do it through Oneday, when you do it through an MBA, or when you do it through a community, then you have that bridge. You're not actually alone. You have someone who kind of goes through the steps, you have someone who gives you that feedback, and you have that community who support you, and you don't have to fill out performance reviews, which is great.